Today is about systems, communication, and follow-up with our buyers. Okay, the last 4 to 6 months there's been a cloud over working with buyers about the NAR lawsuit and all that. Yes, you have to handle that. I get that. And you have strategies and tactics in which you're going to use and implement, and you're going to have failures. But at the end of the day, if you're not providing them a service and communicating with them, you don't have shit. You don't need to worry about them signing a document because they're not going to sign your document. Okay? So what I want this focus to be right now, systems, communication, and follow-up. Okay, communication is a part of follow-up, but it's actually its own bucket in my world. It's the big F word. And so what I wanted to do today was to show you how dumb I was when I was doing this really well. And I say that so that way you know you can duplicate it. And I'm going to show you the exact system I used to keep track, communicate, and follow up with all my buyers. What was my actual system? It was not hard, by the way. Okay? You might have your own system to communicate with your clients. Okay? For someone like Todd Kivimaki, I need you to translate this from buyers to potential clients. It's the same thing. Okay? You've been around long enough, Todd. You know the translate world. You got to figure out, how do I stay in contact with these people? Because unfortunately, you're going to forget to talk to them. You're going to forget about them. You're going to forget about your clients. It's just how it works. And if you're not forgetting about them today, you either, one, have a really good system, or two, you don't have enough people to serve. Go triple your clients and go try to remember them. It gets very, very tough. Now, for me, I didn't want my communication and my clients hiding behind a computer screen, okay, which is hiding behind tech into a system of some kind. I wanted it always to be in front of me, okay, like to be able to see it and to feel it and to have it with me. I'm not telling you do not use tech, but when I say a very simple system, I mean, I'm talking about something with a pen and a piece of paper that you can operate at a very high level with. That's what I'm talking about today. Okay, no excuses. You don't need to pay for it. You don't need a latest app. You don't need internet. This is just a way for you to stay in communication and make sure that we have a system built out that can handle 2 clients or 20 clients. Fair? So right now, get something to write with if you don't have it, because that might be your mode of method here. Give everybody a second. I will show you how I do use my computer to update and print, and then I keep this thing in front of me. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to share. Actually, before I share it, let me tell you the base pieces that I tried to manage. Okay. There was really 3 components of this. Here's my 3 systems. One is buyers that I'm currently working with. So those would be every buyer that you have a buyer's agency agreement with. And this is going to be just a full warning. This is going to be very simple for everybody. It'll be so simple, you'll realize you have gaps and holes in your operations because of how simple it is. One, I need a list of every buyer agreement that I have signed that is not under contract. Once it's under contract, it goes into a different processing system. If you have a TC or whatever that is, that's a different piece. Right now, it's a matter of, I have an agreement and they're not under contract. Do I have all of my people in one list that you can literally look at on one list and say, here's the 20 agreements and all the people? Literally, it's all sitting right here. Okay. The second one is every listing appointment that you've been to. And today's not about listings. Chanel's hitting listings next week, but it is part of my one system here. Every listing agreement you've been to that either hasn't signed a listing contract with you or hasn't told you to fuck off yet. Okay. And you might have been working with these people for 2 years, by the way. I'm still waiting on this one guy to call me. I've sent him 400 notes. It's been 7 years. I don't even sell real estate anymore. I'm still waiting on him to call me. He's gotten so much contact from me. Okay? Because I have him on my list. So the first one is buyer's agency agreements that are signed that are not under contract. The second one is every listing appointment you've been to, okay, that is not a listing agreement or live on the market. The third section is every referral you've received that's not into a buyer's agency agreement or into a listing appointment. See, because we have a system and a process to manage our clients, right? There's a system and a process. You want to know how you handle 88 closings in a year working less than 40 hours a week? It's having really good systems and processes. See, everybody here, I would almost bet most of you have somewhere between 10 and 100,000 of potential commissions waiting to be had. They're waiting right there. The question is can you follow up with them enough to be able to get that commission? Or is it going to get lost and then they're going to say, well, you know what, Alex, I bought with somebody else. I didn't hear from you for 3 months. I walked into an open house and sorry. You know that's going to happen. Our job is to not lose the potential income. That's all today's about. So I'm going to share with you two different sheets online here. Okay. What I personally do with these is I type in on my computer and then I print them off and I keep them with me. You can literally just write them on a piece of paper too. I'm going to give you a quick shortcut because I want to show you how to think about this. So I'm going to share one of these sheets right now. Here's as simple as I could make it. Okay. Do not make this business tougher than it needs to be. You do not do that. Make it as simple as possible. So my first thing I would do, potential active buyers. Once again, these are everybody who is actively looking. I want to keep them all in one place. So the first thing I did, month. What does the month mean? What I wanted to do was document what month I think they would go under contract. So right now, if somebody's looking for a home, I would document the month 9. Okay, there's a reason for this. Because as I get down here, I might have a buyer who wants to look, they want to close in November. And I might have different buyers down here. What I'm doing is prioritizing my buyers based off of their urgency. Why? Because when I look at this sheet, I start at the top. And let's say my first buyer's name is Scott Malcolm. Okay. Then I want to put in here, this is exactly how I did it. Then I want to put in here the source. And let's say Scott came from an open house. Let's say I was grinding some open houses away. Okay. Last time I talked to Scott was 2 months ago at the open house. I'm sorry. This top part means he has a buyer's agency agreement signed. So let's say I saw Scott at the open house in April, and I last talked to him on 6/13 because Scott said, hey, Austin, I need to take a break. Right? Like that happens sometimes. Hey, interest rates just went up. I don't feel comfortable buying right now, but I'm still documenting him that I talked to him on 6/13. Next one, call by. Well, I never had a communication with Scott that we'd have a next conversation. So I didn't tell him I'd call him by any time. So I'm going to leave that blank. And then my amount here, Scott's looking at buying a $300,000 house. Okay. Very simple, right? Let's go to my next one. Let's say I have a Nate Cheviron's looking to buy right now too. I think he's going to buy this month. Nate was referred to me, and I'll put Nate was referred by Sam. Boom. Last time I talked to Nate was yesterday, so I'm going to put in here 8/12/24. And I told Nate yesterday that I would call him on Monday. So Monday's date is 8/19. And Nate's looking at a $500,000 house. Boom. See how simple this is right now? I am building out my sheet so I can see everybody in one place. This is once again about systems, communication, and follow-up. Now let's come down here. Let's say Todd. I met Todd. I'm just going to put K Todd because I can't remember exactly how to spell your last name. Okay, that's what happens. And so let's say Todd was an internet lead that I talked to in January, on January 6th this year. And Todd said, Todd, have an agreement with Todd. He's an internet lead. And January 6th, on January 6th, Todd said, hey, Austin, I don't think I'm going to do anything this year. Could you call me next year? Right? Has that ever been a conversation? Can you call me next year? Okay, Todd, would it be better with you if I touch base with you in December or when the year hits? You see how I want to communicate? If he wants me to talk to him next year, and I'm assuming that's January, you want me to call you in December or do you want me to call you in January? And let's say he says December. Okay. I want to make sure I document that. And Todd's looking at a $600,000 house. Okay. This little sheet right here, okay, that I would then print off and I would keep with me. When I make my calls, when I follow up, I take my pen and I cross that out and I write on it. Why? Because I want to have everybody's information in front of me at any given time. I carry around my little piece of paper, and anytime I talk to somebody, let's say yesterday we got a new referral that came in. Watch how this works. Yesterday I got somebody who's they were looking to buy a condo. Let's say their name was Kim. They were referred by Abby. And I talked to them yesterday. And I told them, I didn't tell them I'd call them by a certain date. Do you know what this call by really is for? This is when you tell somebody you're going to do something, you do it. Okay, that's why that line exists. When I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I need reminded as many times as possible. What I'd probably do then, if I have a call by, I'd actually put it into my calendar to ensure when I look at my calendar that day, I see I need to call them. Okay, very basic stuff, everybody. Just to be clear, very basic stuff. But what is the system in which you're collecting people's information and you're operating on it day by day? Let's say Kim was just had buy here, but let's say Kim was a buy sell. I'd put her address in right here. Okay. Because I keep my sheet with me, when I get a referral, I jot down that referral. The worst thing that you can do in your business, I'm going to come back and see it here. The worst thing you can do in your business is get a referral and not follow up with them, which I guarantee you guys do. Guaranteed you do. You get business, you get busy, you forget to write it down into your system. And then next thing you know, Nina referred me somebody and I forgot to call. And then what happens? That person says, Nina, Austin never called me. Well, Nina's like, he said he would. And then guess what? I not only kill that buyer, I kill Nina too in the relationship. And that's what we're doing every day in and out when we don't have a system to operate on.